I go to this semi-rural college in western Pennsylvania, and like any school in this country, it has a fair share of ghost rumors. There's the ghost of Emma that haunts the theater, and the unnamed ghost that haunts the older dorms, the hundreds of dead bodies at the end of the pond, etc. But all those are so played up, even by the administrations, that they're rather hard to believe. However, every once in a while, you'll hear about a ghost that roams a tunnel on our campus. It goes between aforementioned theater and one of the older buildings that has some dorms in it, but it's mostly used for its banquet hall. Anyway, this ghost rumor is heard rarely at its best. Most students couldn't tell you that a tunnel exists, but a few of my friends and I got the wind of a tunnel from one of the people that live in the building at the end of it. Found it while he was exploring. He got scared of some noise and got out of there and didn't go back. A few days after he told us about it, I ran into one of the older maintenance guys that had been around the campus for a while, and he confirmed that the tunnels exist. Only adding, I wouldn't go down there, at least not without turning the lights on. So one night, my friends and I got a little baked and decided to make a run down the tunnel with the lights out. Just to make sure no one got hurt, we drew straws, and whoever got the short straw would do the run while the rest of us waited. We checked out a camera that had night vision from the tech kids, and borrowed some walkie-talkies from my friend's parents who live a half hour away from the school. There were 5 of us, so 2 of us would enter the tunnel, would wait at either end of the tunnel, entering through the same representative building, and would do a run with the camera. If anything went wrong, we'd use the walkie-talkies. Myself being fat and lazy, I made dang sure I got the long straw, and so my friend Jeff ended making up the run. When we got down to the tunnel, it was pitch dark and smelled of cat pee. No one knew why. Jeff started on my end, where the light switch was, well, not so much a switch, but a giant lever on a fuse box, you know the kind. We tested the walkie-talkies, and we all went silent. Jeff counted to 3 under his breath and took off. We turned our flashlights in the opposite directions of the tunnel so we could see anyone coming to make sure that the night vision cam stayed on effective. We heard Jeff's footsteps for a good minute before they faded completely. And then we waited for the call that Jeff had made it. We waited for what felt like forever. And then all of a sudden, a voice came over the walkie-talkie. It was the other team. Hey Jeff, did you leave yet? We're bored as pee. We're bored over here. Checked my watch and Jeff had almost left an hour ago. Dude, Jeff left an hour ago. I thought you were freaking with us. What are you talking about? Hit the switch and as soon as we see the lights, meet us halfway down the tunnel. It took a minute for the lever to cooperate. Whatever this tunnel had been used for obviously hadn't needed done in some time, and the lever was quite rusty. Once I got the thing to flip, it took a moment for the things to buzz all the way, and a few seconds later, we heard the walkie-talkie again. Alright, we got light. Start running. The tunnel couldn't have been more than 400 to 450 yards long, and the entire way down wasn't a single ladder, sewer grate, door, or any other way out of the tunnel other than heading down the other building. After a few moments of jogging, I could hear the other team coming up to us. I was just about to call to them. I tripped. I was a little dizzy from hitting the concrete, but it only took me a few seconds to come back and realize what I had tripped on. It was that camera. It was what was left of it, at least. The lens was missing, and the handle was busted off, the viewfinder was cracked, and the flip-out screen was hanging on by wires. Where's Jeff? Where's his walkie-talkie? That's what we all kept asking each other until I finally stood up, stuffed in what was left of the camera in my bag, and said, "We need to get out of here. We'll call his phone when we get outside and see where he was." Since the tunnel was on the other side of campus from the newer buildings, we drove and left our phones in the car. 67 calls. We called him a total of 67 times, and we couldn't find him. That was a week ago. And we had called even more times since then. God knows how many times. My roommate won't stop texting me. God, I'm so scared of where he is. It gets freakier though. The SD card in the camera wasn't there when I got back to my dorm and checked it. Today, I got an email that I had a package in the mailroom. When I opened it, all that was in there was Jeff's phone and the SD card. And the note that said, I wouldn't watch that. His phone stopped counting at 99, and mixed in were calls from his girlfriend back home, his mom, and countless texts. I couldn't go through them. He still has to be out there. I know I shouldn't watch what's on the card, but I need to find out where he is. I'm so scared right now. I finished what's on that card. I'm so scared. As soon as it was over, the light in my room went out. It's been flickering for a few days now, so it's probably just a coincidence. What is concerning is at the end of the tape, I could have sworn the side of the janitor's face is in the third to the last frame. I must have frozen it 20 times, and that has to be him. It has to be. Even more concerning is that the noise coming from my ceiling. Like someone is stomping up there. When I lived on the third floor, that was common, but I'm on the fourth floor now. There's nothing between here and the roof, but maybe 3 feet of space with some ventilation systems with cables and whatnot. The stomping won't stop. Make it stop. Jeff's phone texted mine a minute ago. I left it in the living room, so I thought it was my roommate. But he went home for the weekend, and he won't be back till tomorrow. The door is shut and locks automatically. When I went to the living room, and the phone is gone. I called it 3 times, and on the third time it picked up. I heard breathing, and then it hung up. I texted the other guys, but they won't respond. Oh God, what am I gonna do? I tried to go outside for a cigarette to calm myself down, but the door won't open. No matter how much force I put into the handle, it won't swing, and I'm pretty sure I'm losing my mind. Jeff's phone is calling me. I wish I'd never started telling you guys this story. I wish I'd never gotten the email about the package. I wish I'd never gotten curious and opened the card in my computer. Most of all, I wish there was more than breathing coming out of the phone. The counter isn't running. I picked up the phone and immediately hung up, and I didn't notice until now. The breathing is in my ear. I can see his reflection on the screen. He knows this is the last thing I'll ever type, so he's letting me finish. Never go down that tunnel. Never disregard an old man's advice. You served me well.